Hello bros, Metagross strikes again. Someone requested that I play Metagross and here it is. I hope you enjoy it and learn something. So Metagross is still one of the most insanely all-rounders in the game, especially when Charizard got nerfed. So you can just use Metagross for Charizard instead, but overall it is really pretty good Pokemon because the Gyro Ball will give you shields, like it have a decent damage, and also the frontline ability of it is really pretty good, especially also in the early game. Like it is really too good in the early game. But before that bros, let me tell you the build. The build that I'm running for Metagross is first is the weakness policy. So as an all-rounder, I really love weakness policy because when you're tanking the damage, you also increases your damage. And the next build is the Razor Claw for your magnetized boosted attack. And the last one and only for Metagross is the attack weight in order for you to have the maximum damage in the game. The early game of Metagross is really pretty basic. You just need to stack your attack weight carefully, but if the enemy doesn't give you a stack, you can just clear your farms and just stack in the late game. And remember bros, you can stack your boosted attack and pop your iron defense in order for you to truly have the last hitting ability or burst damage in the Pokemon. So thankfully here, I get the level 5, which means I really have the greatest advantage in my early game because Gyro Ball early game is really one of the most snowball type Pokemon. I mean in Gyro Ball of Metagross, because it deals really a huge amount of damages. As you've seen there, with just one Gyro Ball, it instantly deleted the Pokemon there. And remember bros, when you are hitting your Gyro Ball, make sure you hit your Gyro Ball outside the range of your Gyro Ball. You can see the indicator there. There's a ring outside and inner side, which means if you hit that, you will gain a shield, which is like, it makes you tankier. And also the tankiness of Metagross is really not a joke, especially in the late game, because the shield is just too thick and it is pretty a well all-rounder game when playing as Metagross. So luckily here I get the 6 stacks and you will see the damage of it. As you've seen, the damage is really pretty good, and even I get a 1v2 situation here, I can just use my Gyro Ball and just go back and use my X speed. So the battle item depends on you, but I really prefer X speed because when I don't have my magnetize, I can just use my X speed for follow-up movement speed, which is I can flank around the enemy because I love flanking when I'm using Metagross, because it is so good and especially pretty broken once you get the inner side of the circle, I mean outer side of the circle, and hit the opponents, multiple opponents. Your shield is very thick and you're just maintaining your Gyro Ball. And also bros, the Gyro Ball reduces the cooldown if you hit the boosted attack of your Metagross. So you can just stack your ability like your boosted attack, hit your Gyro Ball first and use your boosted attack in order for you to have the lower cooldown of your Gyro Ball. So here this game you will see that I enter the fights even in a 1v5 situation because I know that I could handle them once I just hit my outside circle of the Gyro Ball. So just like this, I'm just using my Magnetize and Gyro Ball because the plus of Magnetize is really pretty good, and I will pop my Unite move. And remember bros, the Unite move will hit to the opponents who have a low HP. So low HP value is the Decidueye here, so it will automatically hit to the Decidueye. As you've seen bro, my shield is very thick that even I go inside, like there's nothing really happens in there. And you've seen that I'm still alive and I'm just really so tanky that anyone that they can just bully me, but I will gain the shield just like that. Even in low HP, I will just go inside again because the Gyro Ball damage is really pretty insane. And look at that shield bros, I hit multiple opponents there in the outer circle of my Gyro Ball, which means I get a thicker shield. So that's why Metagross is really one of the most insanely all-rounder frontline in the game. It is just too good. So you could try Metagross, and in the solo queue Metagross is really good because it has also a secure, which is the Gyro Ball. The Magnetize also will have a damage reduction when just using. So remember, when you are using the Magnetize, you can just flank them and spam your Gyro Ball And if they're lower HP, you can just use your Metagross in order for you to fully functionize the Jarable. So here you will see my Unite move here, which is pretty good. And the Unite move also is really good if the radar of Metagross will hit 3 or more opponents. So if the Unite move of Metagross detects that type of opponent, he will create a wall to the opponent, which means they cannot go outside. But the twist is they can just use eject button or any ability that can dash out to the wall. So that's one of the most disadvantage of Metagross in the game. But overall, this Pokemon is pretty good. So you can just use your Unite move in a single opponent. Just make sure you do not hit 3 or more opponents in order for your 2 doesn't create shield. But if the opponent doesn't have any mobility, like there's no eject button, just they are using the X speed, you can just use your Unite move to create a wall. So here you have seen I'm still broke here, and I will just go to the Decidueye here. Because when there's a Decidueye player, I always prioritize that Pokemon because he's very squishy. But there, I died there. It is what it is. So look at that shield, bros. As you've seen, it is very thick. So even I'm just fighting in a 2v1 situation, I will not back out. Just make sure that you hit your Jarable outside of the ring circle. The objective of Metagross is really good also. The damage of it is really good. The tankiness, the defense, like overall, it is truly a good Pokemon. So here I will use my Unite move just to target the Decidueye, and this is what we call the flanking, bro. I know that the enemy team is ripping there. Like as you've seen the Garchomp flipping there, but I get the 3 Pokemons here, the Charizard, the Mimikyu, and the Decidueye, which is the Decidueye is one of the most objective type Pokemon, but I just zoned that out. So 100% we can guarantee that we will get that, especially when we have the Espeon secure. But that's why zoning of Metagross is really pretty good, just distracting your enemy and bringing along and just let them target you. That is what we call zoning, bro. So zoning is pretty good for Metagross, so keep note of that. Zoning. So you really need to zone out, especially when you're playing all-rounder or defender in the game, in order for you to protect your allies and make or distract the opponents, just flipping the Rayquaza. So that's how you play the Metagross, bros. So you could try out the Metagross. And also, bros, I have a live stream, so you could watch so that I could teach you pretty well. You can ask questions, like you can also suggest Pokemons that you really like, and also you could send me the video link in order for me to review your game footage in order for you to truly understand what my gaming sense and strategy when playing Pokemon Unite, and I want that to share with you. So thank you, bros. I hope we reach 20 likes again, and like and subscribe for more type of this content. Thank you and stay hydrated as always.